Hello and welcome to today's episode of Light Lunch. I am joined by Nick and Ben from our team McGuinness. You might recognise their voices from our Tall Stories podcast, but I'll let them introduce themselves. Nick?
Kia ora tātou, ko Nick Morris, tapu ingoa, ko our team McGuinness te mahi. Yeah, Wellington, born and raised and been part of the NZIB a while now. Yeah, look forward to talking about some cool things today.
Yeah, kia ora, Ben Whaanga from LT McGuinness as well. Born and bred Wellington. Yeah, looking forward to getting started.
Awesome. So we are going to start with 3 things that have been keeping you awake at night. And your points are joint.
Oh, kind of. It's funny, we looked at our notes and it was amazing how they align really closely. I think the biggest one for me is always safety, that's such an important thing every step of the way on a project, big or small, so it's certainly something that pops in and out of your head all the time, day and night.
Is there some tools that you use to make it easier or? Yeah,
absolutely. I think for my role within the company, a big part of safety for me is 2 things. It's planning at the front end, setting all that up. So we have some great software behind us to support that, and a couple of other sort of policies and workflows that we have to make sure we're getting everything right. And then it's the boots on the ground kind of enforcement of what you plan to do, really. And at LTs we have a card system, like a green, yellow and red card system, and that's really good to have that to stand behind. So you see someone who's an outlier and they're not doing something right, you can give them a red card and they go off site and get retrained before they come back. But equally, it's really good to have that. Equally, we have a big focus on the green card side of things, just positive reinforcement, and we collect all those up. And every month, every one of our sites, we have a green card prize draw, and someone is a lucky winner. And on my project last month, we got some really great sponsorship and from our project partners, Precinct Property and RCP. We gave away a stand-up paddleboard and a mountain bike. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah, everyone was massively buzzing to try and win the prize. So
yeah,
cool.
Nice. Because sometimes safety can be that very niggly thing that you have to follow, right? So putting some nice positive reinforcement in there is good.
It's all about getting engagement from
Yeah. Right. Cool. So similar point for you?
Yeah, similar safety, obviously. Just taking personal ownership to ensure that people on site get home to their families every night. That's my my core role, is to make sure with the support of the team, but make sure everyone gets home to their family.
Yeah. It's a nice way to think of it as well, right?
Yeah.
It's not just what they're doing right there. It's cool. So
and then
next
my second one I think is probably project related, and it's kind of funny. You go through the cycle of a project, and I'm on the last couple of weeks of a big job that I've been on for like 3.5 years. So I give my team a shout out. They're watching live from the site office and a few other LT site offices as well. Kia ora everyone. So the focus now for us is all about compliance to get practical completion. So that's kind of on my mind, at different times of the day, just making sure we're getting all that paperwork in nice and tidy and submitting it on time, all that sort of stuff.
The really fun stuff.
Yeah, but it is interesting, looking at what Ben had. You do think about different parts of the project as you go through the cycle of the project, really. Maybe.
Yeah, and my one at the moment is program, quickly ensuring the big players on site are on task and to program, because if the big players don't meet program, then it pushes all the small players out, which is not ideal. So just ensuring that
it's quite a big responsibility.
It is a big responsibility.
Make sure everybody's doing the right thing at the right time.
Yeah, you got to monitor it closely. As soon as you go off track, that's when you got to push the panic button, basically, and start making some changes that you might need to change, because it's really, programming is super tricky. You might do reconstruction maybe even 2 years out before you start, and you plan everything out, and then by the time you actually get to the task, program dynamics have changed such a lot, so everything else has to change, and you just got to have your finger on the pulse. But we're well supported by project directors above us. They down on site quite a bit, and they have a real good knack of being able to zero in on what's important and what we should be talking about and acting on. So they kind of point us in the right direction if we're not already there.
Yeah, that's something I picked up on you guys' podcast, was a lot of like great leadership and like helping out.
Yeah,
from
absolutely.
higher
Yeah,
up in the company.
we're really lucky at LTs. I think it's something we have a lot of good leaders that have been with the business for a while, and I think for me personally, I've had a lot of great mentoring, and the more my responsibilities grew, the more time the leaders spent with me coaching their up. But I think biggest thing for me now that I've noticed in the last couple of years is we've got a lot of excellent, amazing young people as well around us, and they bring their own energy and ideas and enthusiasm and strategies and things. So I think it's kind of good to have strengths at both ends of the spectrum. Yeah.
Cool. And another thing keeping you awake at night?
Well, cheapers other than kids, I
What about
guess,
kids probably? A few boy races at your way then as well?
no, relevant.
Oh, okay. Or Harleys or something?
Yeah,
Yeah, kids, my son got up last night, reckon there's a monster in his room, so. But I got rid of the monster pretty quick. So,
Do you have any tips for that? We might need some tips for that.
not really. Maybe ask Ben, he's got a few more kids than me.
No, so nothing else keeping us awake at night?
no, that's
Not
probably the
too much.
majors at the moment.
No, and
Yeah.
I think, if there's, I think if something is keeping you awake at night, like you don't want to be dwelling on it, just make a note of it on your phone and then or email yourself, and just that's the first thing you get into.
Yeah, emailing yourself's a good idea.
Yeah, once you've got a chance to come in and walk around the site, issue out a few yellow cards, green cards, then back to your desk. What's important to you personally? Well, hey, this thing is keeping you awake at night, so it's not going to be anything more important than that. So
Yeah,
talk to whoever you need to talk to get it resolved or get it moving, or even if it's just getting it off your plate and making sure someone else is doing that.
yeah,
That's
totally.
do what you need to do.
Yeah, nice. All right, well, let's head into some lighter questions. What is something you have been reading, listening, or watching?
Watching. I've been watching The Warriors lately, and that's been a very rewarding experience.
Oh,
Yeah, they're going really well, which is good.
that's not something you hear
Do you
often.
think it's the year or what?
Yeah, I'm starting to feel pretty excited actually. My personal goal was for the Warriors to maybe make the 8, this year, make the finals. But I think, we've got a chance of making the top 4, so that's cool. We've got a lot of players coming back from injury at the right time, and the draw is pretty favourable for us. So it's looking good. So enjoying watching them, and listening. I use a lot of music to kind of chill out, or and if people in my house get sick of it, then I've got a nice pair of headphones, so I chuck them on. But also sneak in a few podcasts as well.
Like the Tall Stories podcast?
Yes, absolutely. Love all those. And if you haven't listened to them all, make sure you check them out. Not sure which one's been the most popular, but I can have a guess. But common theme, a few rugby league podcasts, things like that. So, and then reading, reading my emails.
Fair enough. That's enough, eh? Same for me. And what about for you?
Jeepers, when
Do
I
you
have,
have time?
well, I was literally about to say, when I have time,
Wish you a bit of pep things.
Yeah.
I usually,
Corporate shop.
quickly on the way home from work, listen to some old school music,
Yeah, nice. Fire you up for bedtime.
try and calm it down, after, an intense day, but, usually, music on the way home from work. By the time,
Who's your favourite artist?
currently I'm listening to a bit of Dr. Dre at the moment.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, and he's calming me down
That's,
somewhat.
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting choice to come down.
Watching, don't even get time to watch TV much these days.
Yeah.
No.
what about Love Island and stuff? I know you got into that. Years ago.
Well, Married at First Sight was
That was
one of
a
my
number.
favourite, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not on at the moment, so.
I wouldn't know.
It'll be back.
But we don't have time to just use it really. Don't read the news in bed on my phone pretty much, and that's about it really.
Fair enough. Something you both do for your well-being, other than both listening to music?
Music's a really good one. I just think you know, making most of the weekends time away from work. You know, that's really, if you can get some hobbies that are, like we all love construction, and there's so you'd never be bored, you know, because there's always something to look at or talk about. But getting hobbies away from construction is really a good thing. And having young kids, you know, that's a real easy one, because my weekends fill up pretty quick. Sneaking a bit of work, but also have kids sport and like, you know, doing stuff outdoors with them, you know, swimming and stuff, you know, that's really helpful. Also, yeah, just staying active, like shout out to Les Mills Lambda Key. I get in there one day a week.
Well done. One day.
And try and do it in the middle of the week as well, because it kind of like, you know, de-stresses you and then sets you up for a good weekend. Sort of thing.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I guess try and do as much exercise as I can when I can.
It's quite hard in a construction role because you start quite early in the morning, work quite late. And I guess in your roles you need to be there most of the day, right?
Yeah, very much. Yeah, we just need to be organised. Like this thing, like when I go to a gym on Wednesday, like I meet my trainer, so I kind of got to be there. And there's always like 5 excuses, but he tells me off if I don't turn up. And then I got a little e-bike as well, just off trade me, and that's quite cool. Like you can build it in a bit of, even if you're just getting off the bus a bit earlier or parking your ute a bit further away from site and doing a bit of a walk.
You got to make time.
You got to prioritize it. You know, like, otherwise you're gonna get grumpy, and it's on the weekends after all, and you're trying to hang out with your family. You know?
Well, it's a nice shift that we actually feel this way now, because what 10 years ago it was like, if you don't have time for this, you don't have time for this. And
that's right.
Now we all are making time for it because we know how important it is.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah, it's just
maybe
great.
the next webinar we could do like a workout or something like that.
Yeah, 15-minute light lunch workout.
Yoga session.
Just to de-stress.
Put a comment if you're keen to be a part of that.
Gather up some people. All right, and what is your motto?
Oh, motto. I've got life's too short, don't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And do you have any tips for not sweating the small stuff?
Just there's always a solution to a problem, no matter what. There's always a solution. So, you know, when you come across a problem, you know, work it out with the team, figure out a solution, and there's always a way around it. So
that's a good one. And there's always someone out there that can help you as well. You know, like there's something that's a common theme at LTs, you know, we're often talking with other sites and people are facing the same challenges, you know. So and everyone's also, you'd be surprised how many people out there are willing to help you once you put up your hand, you know, so there's solutions out there.
Yeah, nice. And your motto? Yeah,
my motto, like I think personally I got one, just family first, you know, that's really important. But professionally, sort of borrowed one from the old LB Martin ads, it's the putting right that counts, you know, so things don't always go to plan on a project, but as long as, you know, the outcome is good and everyone's really happy, and if there's anything that needs to be addressed, you know, we're there to sort it out if that's what it takes. You know? So you don't really walk away from a problem. It kind of ties in with what you're saying around solutions there, Ben. You know, there's always a solution there.
Yeah, just finding it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Working it through. And I'm going to ask you, do you have any advice for the next generation in construction?
In construction? Oh, wow. Welcome to the greatest industry. Yeah, I think for me, like I'm always really impressed with people that are fresh on the scene that ask a lot of questions. You know, that's a sign that they're keen and interested and motivated, and also kind of thinking about things, because part of our job is to kind of think ahead so that we can support all the site managers and the other crew. So yeah, ask a lot of questions, and then also it's like how you ask a question. Like maybe if you're going to your foreman or whoever's mentoring you, like think about what the answer might be, you know, and then you might actually end up when you're at the point where you're not even asking a question, you're actually proposing a solution to a problem, and then it's like, yeah, great, go and do that, rather than just putting your hands up and going, hey, what's going on here? So yeah, just go for a lot of questions and try to think of the answer.
Yeah.
You've been proactive, I guess, is
to
take the opportunity you're given, you know, like be proactive, be motivated, be keen, show your eagerness, and you know, people kind of, you know, they can see that, and they can see that, you know, you've got potential. So
yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Wow, thank you for joining me today, guys. And we will see you all next time.